Well, good evening. A very warm welcome. Monday night, 8 p.m. in a scorching hot UK can mean only one thing. The online live lounge returns for episode 258. Myself, Bill Barr, Stan Simpson, and Jarlath Theaton are going to be here for the next few hours live on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Good evening, one and all. How are we, gents?
Well, when you say it can only mean one thing, Philip, it can only mean that you're in the south because it's grey and rainy up here.
Well,
Really?
you knew the risk, didn't you?
It is not a scorching hot day in the northeast of England. No, it certainly is not. I know, and we had to bring the water in earlier.
It is 34 degrees. The sun is baking still, and it is not ginger-friendly weather in Costa del South.
No, we had to tell the staff to bring the washing in. It's outrageous.
You knew the risks, though. You knew the risks living up there.
This is it.
You can't moan, mate.
No, this is it. You can't live this close to the Arctic Circle and moan about the weather, can you? No, all is well. All is good. We had a fairly relaxing week. Like our week. I mean, we have this sort of 6-week period where the kids are off, but it's disgustingly busy. Like every single weekend, bar none, there is something to do, somewhere to go. It's so busy. But this weekend gone was like the only weekend where we had nothing on, so decided that we would enforce that, and it was just a weekend of doing very little. Watch some sport on the TV, watch the boxing. That wasn't bad. It was quite good actually. The Irish put a good show on. Yeah, it's all right. Nice. It's been a funny old week in darts, isn't it? Because everyone's on a bit of a hangover after the match play, and it's been so busy and so intense that it's a rare bit of breathing space in the darts world, isn't it, this week?
Don't say that too loudly. You know what's going to happen next year. We're going to have a Euro Tour this weekend coming up. Matthew, we'll be there, 100%.
Yeah, look, it's mental, isn't it? That look, we're all getting ready for the trip down under. We see lots of players going off on holiday on their social medias and so on. But obviously, it just gives us a bit of time to reflect on what's gone on, what the realities for some players. Let's jump into the chat room before we start. Dell is in. Kay, how we doing? Fraser, good to have you in, my friend. Gordo, how we doing? Owen, Shelty, Kieran, Jamie, how we doing? AD, good to have you in, mate. Say, AD's from down here. It's lovely down here. Matthew, how we doing? Warren, Kevin, Chris, how we doing? Yells on Twitch, good to have you in. Wayne, Lindsay, here's Ram boys. Andy, how we doing? Mark, good to have you in. Jason says, evening, gents. It's a busy old start to proceedings, it has to be said. First of all, let's just recap last week. Pro Tours and European Tour. Bo qualifies for another European Tour, 3 on the spin for her, only enhancing that reputation. And she's given herself a chance of the World Grand Prix.
Which is good. It's very good, in fact. Where is she now? She's only about 12 grand off, which, you think about the fact that she's got 2 European Tours now.
3.
That she's got coming in. 3. Yeah, there you go. 3 Euros. Load of Pro Tours coming up before the World Grand Prix. I wouldn't be surprised to see her on the entry list for the World Grand Prix. 100%.
No, if you give me even money, and it was
yes,
give me 50 pence somewhere, then I would definitely be backing her to make it. Look, especially when you look at that Grand Prix race, and she is only 12 grand away. That doesn't include any of that first round losers money for those 3 Euro Tour events. So there are people in the spots above Bo that aren't going to be at those Euro Tour events. So you can just take first round losers money and immediately cancel that out. If she picks up a win or 2 on the Euro Tour stage, which I think, realistically, depending on the draw, you're going to expect her to pick up a couple of first round wins out of 3. I think is not, it's not a wild pick. I think it's perfectly reasonable.
Well, you think about it, obviously, as well. If she gets to the World Grand Prix, yes, she hasn't got to the Euros yet, but she's got 3 chances to try, at least 3 to try and make a chance to get there. She's going to be definitely in the Slam, and she's more than 99.99999% likely going to be in the Players' Championship, and she's going to be in the Worlds. She's going to do some serious damage at the back end of this year. She's 7th in the Players' Championship order of merit. She's got 60 grand already. I can't see anybody overtaking her. I think she's going to be a very, very busy woman, and long may it continue. She's an absolutely outstanding player.
Is it the? I know we're going to talk a lot about darts things, but is darts adjacent? Is this a good point to mention the what I thought was quite an interesting new sponsor into the world of darts? We're seeing more and more mainstream. I think Luke Littler certainly led the way in terms of people. When I mean big brand, like national, very recognizable companies partnering with darts players, but seeing someone just with the high street recognition of Specsavers entering into the darts world, selecting or choosing to do that with a female player, like that's quite big news, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, 100%. I also think that all she can do right now is continue to develop the women's game. Obviously, they have that. We always say, if you can't see it, you can't be it. And there's that element there now for people to go, because obviously Fallon did what she did, and I'm not trying to dismiss her talent at all, and I'm not trying to dismiss what she did. But you've got to think that Bo has been outstanding so far this year. She's obviously already won a Pro Tour, first one to do that, first woman to qualify for a Euro Tour. She's, like I say, she's going to be in near as damn it most of the back end of the TV events so far this year. Like I said, she hasn't had a chance yet because she's not played a Euro Tour. But if she wins a Euro Tour, the chances are she's going to be in the in the European Championship, because she'll back it up with a couple of other victories in terms of winning games across the format. And then you look at, like I say, 12 grand off the World Grand Prix, definitely in the Slam. As near as damn it makes no difference, 99.9% in the Players' Championship, and definitely in the Worlds. There's some big chances for her to add some huge TV money here, and it vindicates what we've been saying. Yes, she may not have felt it, and might not have felt ready, and I get that, but it's vindicated what we've been saying for a while, that she needs to play on the Pro Tour, and she needs to be a PDC Tour card holder, because she's too, I don't wish to say she's too good. She's too good not to be anywhere else. And obviously for Bo now, I'm just looking up the list. She's just outside, I think, the top 64. So she can still theoretically play in the Women's Series, but it's not going to be for much longer, is it?
No,
let's be honest about
it. Not for much longer at all. Especially if you look at the form of those around her in those rankings. Like if you look at the way she's playing and the frequency at which she's picking up money, she's going to leave some of those players for dust, like very soon.
Well, you look at it as well. Tour card race currently right now, £92,500 in the tour card race. She's 71st. Scott Williams, remember, world semi-finalist 3 years ago, £108,000. Are you going to try and tell me, that's obviously including everything at the moment, but are you going to try and tell me that she's not going to pick up more money than that? If she gets to the point where she gets her talk, where she keeps her, she's in the top 64 after her first year, I think that's an outstanding achievement. You don't see many people, unless you're Luke Littler or Duzzer or, a big names. You don't really see many people who are, after 1 year, already inside the top 64 and comfortably going to be keeping their tour card.
No, well, when you look at all of those tour cards that were awarded in January, and there was a particularly big batch of them, there is only one player of that 2026 or class of 2026 tour card winners. There is only one player who has outperformed Bo Greaves with that tour card in terms of money earned, which is Cristo Reyes, who sits on £118,000. And being honest, like, we're busy on this show. We have lots to talk about. There's lots of events going on. We haven't spent enough time giving flowers to Cristo Reyes, because that to be where he is at currently, which is, on the tour card race in a position number 62, 118 grand off a standing start, and it is the first week of August. Like, Cristo Reyes has had an unbelievable year, and it's unfortunate for Bo in a way, because most years what Bo has done would outshine everybody else that's picked up a tour card. It's just that this year there's been another particularly strong player But Crystal Reyes, again, another player that's been absolutely superb with the tour card this year. And it is becoming, you can see the more and more these new tour card holders. I mean, Tom Sykes is on 70 grand. Like that, that's a very, very, very good year one. Charlie Manby on 61 grand. You can see where we've got these players that are in and around, and with, you know, Scott Williams is on the line at the minute in the tour card race. He's in spot number 64. You can see it's getting harder and harder and harder for players to hold on to them because the quality, yes, there are still some chances that are making it through Q School. There always will be with that format. But there are more and more players landing on tour, immediately outperforming those in year two. And it's becoming very, very difficult now. If you're not playing very, very consistently, to cling on to your tour card is going to be very difficult in that 2-year cycle.
Can we also talk about, on a side note, someone who doesn't have a tour card and what he did on Tuesday afternoon or evening as well in Hildesheim?
Yeah,
Well,
but
I think we'll come on to him as a bit of a special, like that's a special case as well, isn't it?
But don't you find it remarkable that Scott Williams' tour card is in danger on 108.25? A couple of years
Not really.
A couple of years ago, you'd never 100 grand. You'd have been comfortably safe.
But that's the new TV deal, isn't it? That's the new TV deal.
I think if somebody did some maths on the, you know, what the percentage increase on prize money is and the percentage increase in where we think people are at to retain their tour card, it's probably tracking, you know, within a fairly tight tolerance. I think, but there is that. If we hadn't seen that big injection of money in prize money across different events, then it would stun me a bit more. But I think it's probably about where it is. But I do think people are going to be found out. We've seen for years under this 2-year tour card system, players have, for want of a better word, got away with it. They have probably been lucky to get a card in the first place. And then they've just managed to be consistently decent enough to pick up enough money. And that is not good enough anymore because the quality of players coming through is so high. Again, not every single one of them. There's still some chances making it. But there are more and more players. And it is probably due to the opportunities that they're given. We say all the time, don't we? It's the best time ever to not have a tour card. But and what that means, there's two, I suppose, a couple of different reasons for that. One is that there is more money than ever to be made outside of the PDC system. People are becoming more and more able to prop up their own career by going and playing in this and playing in that and playing the Super Series. But we're then seeing players hit the tour that are used to playing high-pressure competitive matches, often in front of a crowd, often with a camera on them. And they're not doing this for the first time. Yes, it's a new environment. Yes, sometimes you have to play Gary Anderson in round one. So there are still obstacles to overcome. But the likes of Bo and the likes of Tom Sykes and the likes of Charlie Manby have benefited a huge amount from all of this world that goes on outside. And people are arriving through Q School better prepared than ever. And I just think we're going to see more and more. If we don't see Derek Coulson with a tour card next year, it will be a crying shame because people only have a lifespan in this sport and in all things. And I think we need to get Derek, while he's playing like this, out. Like we want to see him or what he can do on that tour. But again, another player who's just benefiting from that churn of high standard, regular competition with crowds there, with cameras there, being able to organize themselves and their day. You know, we talked endlessly through the match play about players' preparations, what they do to get ready for a match, and they're playing at a particular time of the day and how that's all going to be set up. People are now, It used to be that you arrived on the Pro Tour and you were doing all of that for the first time. You were figuring out how to get yourself ready for a game, and if you were playing at this time, when would you start doing what your preparation is? A lot of these players now, it's second nature. They've been doing it inside out for years. They know it completely. It's going to get harder. And I, for one, think it's great. You've got to be a very, very good player to hold on to a tour card now.
Just two things, mate, on that before we go further. Warren makes a good point, saying it could go up to 130k to be safe. With the biggest prize fund in the world. I don't disagree with that. That could be where we're looking.
Is that right?
But secondly, as well, it comes off the question then comes off because players are going to be more used to being in positions where they have got pressure on them, they have got a camera on them. Do we think that in the next few years, the demand is clearly there, the interest is clearly there? Do you think at least for semi-finals and final, every day for a tour card, it gets live streamed on the PDC TV?
No.
Because I think, interesting, because I think the demand is there and that it won't be bad for the players.
Our dear leader shakes his head, which makes me feel, and he's really wrong on these matters.
No, I know that, but I just think
that,
no, I know. I just think that the demand is going to get too big.
Oh, I think the demand is there 100%. I don't think, certainly within the next 2 to 3 years, I don't think they'll pull the trigger.
No, I agree. I think it will probably be the next. I think it will probably be the next TV deal. Realistically, I think it will probably be the next one.
But yeah, Johnny, how are we doing, lad? Good to have you in as always. But look, this kind of rolls into the next point, which is quite good. That Sebastian Białecki won his second Pro Tour. We're not surprised about Sebastian, absolute class act. But talking about players that don't have tour cards and being ready because of the environment they're in all the time, they're used to it. Henry Coates, only the 5th player to win a Pro Tour without a tour card, and he made it look easy. That was the scary thing. It looked effortless from him.
And what that's going to do is he's going to get more invites. He's going to get, he's going to get more top-ups.
Well, he goes to the number one now. He is the number one top-up.
Yep. And that's the thing. He's what, 38th currently right now on the World Championship race. Now, call me a cynic on this one, Philip. I don't see that 128 tour card holders will be using their tour card privileges for the remainder of the season. I'm just guessing.
He's in every Pro Tour between now and the end of the year.
Correct. And also as well, that puts him now. Where's Henry Coates gone? I'm just looking to see. I think he's not far off qualifying for the Players' Championship either, because obviously he's just won one. Yeah, he's 59th. So again, there's the opportunity there that he'll be probably going to minor, because like you say, he's number one top up now. And again, was anybody really surprised that eventually he won a Pro Tour, even though he didn't have a card? No. If you've watched him at all at Modus, if you've watched him at all at anything else, you know the boy's got talent. It's not a surprise whatsoever at all.
No, the game's definitely there, isn't it? I mean, it's always surprising. There's an element of surprise to it. Perhaps it's novelty when you see somebody, so young, who has played so little in that environment, who are just turning people over, because he wasn't scraping wins. He wasn't relying on the underperformance of his opponents at all. He played absolutely superbly over and over and over again. And it tells us a few things. One, that he's not scared of anybody. Two, shouldn't make change, that what he does is replicable. He is not a player that has a good game in him and every now and again he finds it. What it shows us very, very recently, that in his locker is turning up to an event and replicating elite level form that does away with the very best players in the game if they're not at their absolute best. It was a superb day of darts for him. It was absolutely superb.
I didn't say. I didn't think. I wasn't saying that people always thought he was going to win the Pro Tour. No, of course he didn't think he was going to win a Pro Tour this year. But are we surprised that he's won one? No, not at all. he's got so much talent, that man. And like Jimmy always says in here as well about Joe Hunt. I'm glad he's not called Mike. Otherwise, I'd be in serious trouble. But like you say, he's got 30. He's going to do all 34 events, and he's going to qualify for the Worlds and qualify for the Players, and probably piss it in terms of qualification. Because where is he again? I'm just looking. I know he's fifth. I think he's fifth on the World Championship race, or is he? No, that's Bo I'm looking at. Where's Joe? 17th on the World race, and he is 29th. On the Players' Championship race and £40,000. Again, yeah, 100%. And like, if he needs to, he can top up in terms of top up his money. But I don't think he needs to. I think he's going to be there. It's as simple as that. And people can moan about the top boys deciding not to go. That's you are well within your right to moan if you wish. That's fine. But you still don't. But still, it used to be a case that the quality. I don't think. Yes, the top end of the Challenge Tour was obviously still very good, but I didn't think that the top end. I didn't think that most part of the Challenge Tour was going to be delivering similar quality to what we could get at the bottom end of the Pro Tour. That's completely changed now.
It's indistinguishable. It's indistinguishable, mate. At the minute, it really is. When you look at the way that the lads from the Challenge Tour, lads and lasses from the Challenge Tour perform in that environment when they're invited to the Pro Tour over and again, we're not pointing at a player, we're not pointing at one good day. This is over the course of 30 events. We've seen that the level that they can achieve at the top end of the Challenge Tour is indistinguishable from the bottom end of the Pro Tour. And they all the reason they're at the top is that they can mix it on a regular basis, but it is a really, really high level. It's a long conversation for another time, but I've proposed a number of different promotion and relegation theories as to how you could have a two-tiered tour, like the Triple T. You could have a two-tier tour. And you could have promotion and relegation. You could still have different ways of doing that, where you brought rogue people in through Q School, and if you were right at the very bottom, you were dead. You were out, and you had to go back through Q School again. But I genuinely believe there is some real value in looking at how you can move from a secondary tour into the Pro Tour, because what it does, it can only in the long term increase the talent pool, the consistent talent pool in the Pro Tour, because you are guaranteeing proven, repeated high-level players coming through.
Here's one for you, and this kind of addresses Lendl bit that would close off the Challenge Tour. I think the Challenge Tour should be closed off. How about there's a 3-tier PDC system, which includes Q School? So, for me, the Challenge Tour should replicate the Pro Tour, because that's the next level down. That's the one you're striving to get to. So, for me, the Challenge Tour should replicate the Pro Tour. One a day, 128 players, so you're used to it. Not survivor of the fittest like it is now. So, you have Pro Tour, which, like you say, you can then have a promotion and relegation from. Challenge Tour, which is capped at 128, but there is a top-up list from the ones below, and like the tour below the Challenge Tour is for the greatest respect. If you don't get through stage 1 at Q School, you don't deserve to be on the Challenge Tour. And for anyone else that wants to play, that's your third tier is open.
Well, I think it's like
that's bollocks. Like, come on, that'll never happen. For the
but if you've got...
what we're saying is should it to make the process and it better?
But if you have a multi-tiered system, whether you have 2 tiers or whether you have 10 tiers,
you look at the moment, the Challenge Tour doesn't do what it's meant to. right? It's not the best player wins. Come the second one on a Saturday, when they've played 40 hours of darts in 2 days, survival of the fittest. It doesn't replicate Pro Tour, which it should do.
Yeah, but they can't put the amount. They can't put 24 events on and ask people to turn up for 12. For 12 weekends a year. At the point where they're not going to potentially get any money.
Why not?
It's just not.
I don't buy that, Jar, because
no.
So
people will turn up for it. If you're serious, if you want to be a pro, if you want to get to that next level, you will turn up, right? If you're just going for a jolly, if you just pay your 450 quid because you might draw someone good, or for the front of a better word, you want to go on the piss and play darts, fuck off to the WDF and do that, right? The name is
come on.
The name is in the list. Professional Darts Corporation, right? I want the tiers to be professional. I don't want, like it is now, people go to the Challenge Tour for a jolly, and I don't want that.
I genuinely
want them to be. I want them to be professional tiered.
I honestly believe there is a best of all worlds. So if you look at my local football team, right, closest one to me, they've done exceptionally well on social media lately. Billingham Town. Lots of people have heard of Billingham Town now.
Yeah, because didn't they ban someone?
Well, they did propose a halftime execution on social media. It went down. I'll say mixed reviews. But what they did get is hundreds of thousands of followers very, very quickly. But so Billingham Town play in something like the 10th tier, right? And you can say that football isn't a true meritocracy because you can say that all the money's involved and someone can come in and buy loads of players. But the truth remains that if Billingham Town keep winning football matches and they keep beating people, they can beat enough people by winning football matches that eventually they're in the Premier League. Now, for me, within darts, as long as the bottom tier, you could have a 2-tier system or a 10-tier system. As long as the bottom tier is open, and me, you, anyone in the chat room, as long as your bottom tier is open, then you have immediately created a meritocracy. And if people are good enough and they win enough games, they will promote themselves to a position where they are playing professionally. Like the same as football or any other sport. Like you just have to keep winning and being good.
Darts isn't a professional sport though. It's not.
No, but neither's football in tier 10.
No, but darts as a whole is professional. Because the 128 tour card holders, but professional tour card holders, don't get fucking money for turning up.
That's a different argument.
No, it isn't. No. It is not.
If your primarily income is from darts, right, regardless of whether you win a game and get paid, right, if over the year, if your primary income is darts, in my opinion, you're a professional.
But you're not though, because you can't make money out of it. If you, I'm not saying that the PDC have to pay a substantial amount of money. As Dan always says about with your tour card yourself, you get £10,000 or a fixed amount of money, right? If that happens, and everybody that turns up that gets a chance of getting paid regardless of what happens, then yeah, your argument holds merit. But currently, right now, professional tour card holders don't get a chance of getting money unless they win a game. That's not right. It's not right. And so therefore, the argument that you're making about trying to make this a meritocracy and make this a professional sport, it cannot happen until such time as first round losers money is allowed at the Pro Tours and at the UK Open. It can't happen. I'm sorry, but
I want both of those things.
I want both of them, but I still want the losers that aren't taken seriously.
I think they
playing somewhere else, playing on the bottom run.
Why? But why?
One, they're not good enough at the moment. Get better by going and learning your trade further down, right? If you're not good enough to play for Billingham Town, you'll go and play for someone at tier 11. Get better.
But then how do you keep this argument of Q School being the dream factory, which makes the PDC it makes the PDC an absolute
and that's the only reason it happens. It doesn't. It's not they couldn't give a fuck about the dream factory. They care about the £400,000 it makes.
Exactly. So that's the thing. How are you going to get an extra £500,000 in darts from people that essentially pay for your challenge tour and your development tour? How are you going to do it?
Because people still have to do Q School to play.
Yeah, you still have it.
You still have it, but you just tier it so you're in the right tier, right? Look at who's the fucking idiot, Nathan Richards, right? He was with the greatest will in the world. He was fucking shit.
This is what happens when we haven't got a tournament to talk about, isn't it? This is what we can't just talk about.
With the greatest will in the world, he was fucking shit. Right? He used to pay his 400 quid, rock up for 4 days, average 45, and then just go home. That's not what it's about.
Just so you know, Nathan, open invite if you want to come on.
If you want to be on the show at any point,
He's still banned by the DRA because he hasn't paid his fine, so he ain't playing anytime soon.
Has he still not paid it?
No, he's still there. He's still on the ban list. He still owes. And last time we saw, there was a warrant out for his arrest on Facebook for being racist, and Robbie Green was going to kill him. So he may well have done. But the point still stands, right? He is not good enough. Right, and and there are plenty more like him. He's just the one that sprung to mind because I was better than him, and I'm shit. Right?
But I worry that Barzy's actually started going back on the alcohol.
Do you know what? This is just what happens to him when he hasn't been driving all over the country in a press room for days. This is like Barzy's fully charged.
He's had a full week off, basically. He's had a full week off, and now he's going, right, everyone's
now
fucking getting it.
He's got him in the chamber, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. He's waiting 6 months for this.
Oh, and he's watched SummerSlam. He's had a week off. He's not doing any press room. He's watched SummerSlam. He's absolutely up here, isn't he?
Yeah. I just think that, for me at least anyway, I don't think you're going to get people going to Q School, and we're just going to see the same people every single time they get promoted and relegated and promoted and relegated, unless, and that's why I think that Q School, especially now in its current guys, and its old guys.
Johnny knows.
There you go, Johnny. But that's why I think currently Q School and its current guys, where it does weed out the shit, is good. I also would argue, possibly I think it's correct, that we could have Q School in its current format and then basically say to everybody else who doesn't get through stage one, as you mentioned, not go on the chat. You can't go on the challenge tour yet. I don't mind that. I ain't got an issue. But I don't think it needs to be tiered and promotion and relegation. I like the idea because let's be honest about it. From our point of view, if we lost Q School, that'd be a huge lot of our week gone. Huge lot of our media content gone for that week.
I could go on holiday.
Barzy never takes a holiday. No days off for Philip.
I think I might. If I might go this year, just for the content.
What?
Do you know
Q
why?
School?
Yeah,
that's another point, right? We've seen people rock up to Q School just to make fucking content. That's not what it's about.
No, but yeah, it could be Phil. Think if I turn up with a set of them meta glasses we were looking at, I get a set of them from Curry's, turn up, average 33, tell everyone that I'm targeting a 30 dart leg. Here we go.
You know what though? You'd still be better than half the shit that we saw in Europe this year. So fair play to you, mate.
I might go over there. Oh, I can't, can I? Irish passport.
No, you can't.
Irish passport.
No, even the Irish passports, they have to play over here now.
Disgusting.
I know that proper shite still gets to stage 2. I get that, but at the same time, though, it weeds out a lot of crap. You can't deny it doesn't weed out a lot of it. I'm not saying it weeds out loads. It doesn't. It weeds out all of it. It doesn't, but it does weed out a fair bit of crap. 100%.
He won a leg once, apparently.
Who? Big Johnny?
No, Nathan. I think it was a forfeit.
It's still the greatest photo I think I ever took, ever, of him with his sign at Minehead just before
saying
COVID.
Fuck the DRA.
Yeah. Still one of my all-time favourite photos that I have favorited on my phone. It was very, very funny.
Oh. Look, it's interesting. However, but before we're kind of gone off on a tangent there. I like shows like this.
We're doing numbers today. And also, we've got a grown-up on next week. We've got an actual proper guest who's going to speak sensibly about darts. So it's probably a good thing for him to get it all out of his system first. Get all the silliness out.
Can I just say, we haven't gone off on a tangent here. Barzy has. These are the views of Phil Barzer, not the views of the live.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what happens, right? I'll tell you what happens. with all sorts of people, you know, chairman of organisations, everything, is that he does this, and then I end up like having to be questioned. I end up stood in the wrong place, sat in the wrong chair, having to answer for him. Going, I don't fucking know.
But to be fair, match play weekend, match play week, I redeemed myself because I made said chairman walk away because I was.
Yes.
It was just like, stop talking. One of my words was stop talking bullshit.
In what happened there in SummerSlam language was there was a hot tag, wasn't there, Philip? There was a.
By the way, I'm coming in.
Philippine with a hot tag.
Hang on, Barzy, you know, you're hated by everybody. That's what I read the other day on Facebook. So
100%.
There you go. Yeah.
100%.
By somebody who but I'm pretty sure I read that.
Do you know how much PR I have to do for us when I'm in Blackpool, Jack?
But do you know what? It's probably the amount of PR you have to do for me after a UK.
Just wandering around with a clip. It's like when I'm in mine head. I wander around with a clipboard. At one page of apologies that I have to make on behalf of various different people.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at Big Johnny's comment.
Oh,
yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
You forgot hashtag AI generated.
Yeah.
Oh dear me. Yeah. I will run around with it. That'll be another apology I'll make to smooth things over.
Yeah. How we doing, Rob? Good to have you. The good bit
is... It's busy tonight, isn't it? We have to. This is people are sticking around tonight. We're doing some numbers tonight. It's getting, we need to. But the best thing for darts media is less darts. It seems.
Yes.
Hey, controversy sells. I keep telling everyone this. No one cares about shaking hands and good darts.
Controversy creates cash, in the words of the.
All publicity is good publicity.
Well, you say that. They say all publicity is good publicity, but there was a bloke in my town who was once accidentally put on the front page of the local paper for being an nonce. He didn't find that good publicity. He thought not all publicity was good publicity. He got bricks to his window. It was a nightmare.
Also, to be fair, I'm pleased to announce we'll have more in coming days, but Monday the 7th of December is going to be the Live Lounge Live from the wonderful Prince of Wales in Ilkeston. And the member of the PDPA that does talk sense is coming on. Mr. Alan Moore and a little will be joining us that night.
Yes,
Wazza is in the house. Also, Dan, if you can add this to your spreadsheet.
Running risk assessment before each event. Yeah, I mean, legit.
That's your job. That literally is. That is your job. Yeah. That is your job.
Also, before we move on, we are going to talk about this man. Up until last week, Raymond Van Barneveld looked done and dusted. He had 2 great days on the Pro Tour. He qualified for back-to-back European tours. And now all of a sudden, Barney is only 3.5 grand off of the World Championships.
Whoop, whoop. We know what session
Where has he pulled that from?
It's August. He's got an exhibition, no doubt, in September that he'll go to instead of going to a Euro tour.
Look at Jari's raging.
I am. Honestly.
He's on the he's on an upward trajectory, Jarlath. It's you know what? It's one last time for him. He's going to keep the tour card. He's gonna do just enough. This is my theory, right? He's going to play just well enough where he'll convince himself, I've got one more year. I've got one last run in me. I could win something next year. Yeah, he's going to feel like he's got something left in the tank. And you remember
when Tiger won the Masters from nowhere?
No, it's not happening. Don't threaten me with a shit time. All right. It's been. Remember, you know what my personal life has been like in the last 7 months, Philip. Do you know
only what? Fairy tales happen in sport.
It wouldn't be a fucking fairy tale. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Just think, if it happens, you'd be busy. You'd have lots of fan mail to answer.
Going in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Jarlath. Thanks for being in the Barney Army.
This is what happens when I've got time on my hands.
I'm just trying to work out something. 1 second. Hang on. Talk about yourself for a minute, and I'll give you. One moment.
You know, see,
oh yeah, sorry. There we go. I've got it. Phil is a Charlie uniform November Tango. Work that one out.
I'll tell you what I'm going to have to work out. The biggest question there to work out is which of the many times that quote has been used you're referring to. That quote has many authors. Many authors.
Probably again on Friday. Let's be honest about it. To be fair, from last Friday, I'm surprised that wasn't used then. But yeah, can we move on and talk about some DRA hearings? By the way,
yeah, the DRA finally published some case notes, which was nice. It only took them 3.5 years, 4 years to pull their finger out.
Some of them are actually really funny, if I'm being brutally honest. Like, there are some that is really funny.
I don't agree with the Cammy one, right? I've got no problem with a suspended ban, but suspending it for 2 years, right? If you suspend it to the end of the season, no issue. There was no need to go 2 years.
It makes no sense.
I've got OTT on that.
Well, it's just confusing, and it makes sense. It shouldn't have to be. You shouldn't have to try and work hard to explain it. The way often I'll describe it at work is that it doesn't pass the man on the street test, does it?
No.
If you just spoke to someone in passing who didn't really understand darts and explained that situation, it wouldn't pass the test. They'd go, "Oh, that makes sense," because he doesn't.
Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. The suspended ban to the end of 2026. That's fine. That's not an issue. But 2 years, it's just like, come on now.
Gary getting a fine there. I'm sure he'll be happy with that as well. From Blackpool.
How do they word it? Aggressive behaviour?
Aggressive and abusive behaviour, yes. Fined $3,000, of which $1,000 is suspended until the 7th of September.
Haven't said it was. They haven't said who it was against, have they?
No.
I'll just say it wasn't a player.
Yes. I'll tell you the reason why I know that, Phil, is because the following night, Daniel and I went out in Blackpool and we had a lovely evening. Some would say we had a very, we had treasurable, we found a lot of treasure in Blackpool that night.
I'll tell you what we didn't do. So what we didn't do, he's in the back end now, look. We didn't do that. The professor's in the back end when we need to give a bit of advice.
But yes, I remember that night because Daniel told me what happened.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was trying. Dan will tell you, I was trying not to laugh.
No, not to laugh. He was trying not to wet himself.
Yeah.
He was sat cross-legged.
Again, I'm not saying the person deserved it, but there are consequences. When you fuck up, there are consequences, and just own it.
Yeah. Just one more time, it's very easy, folks. You just follow. All you got to do is follow the professor.
Whenever I see that, that just reminds me of Sunday at the UK Open this year.
That's why he's in the back end. He's going to be ever present now. He's in the back end. The professor's in the back end with his advice.
But to be fair, that's also part of the reason why Gary did no media at the match play.
Yes.
Which was also hilariously funny, Dan, wasn't it?
He did do some.
But yeah, the DRA just need to be quick. That spreadsheet doesn't take long to do every 3 months, every 6 months. It's not hard.
No, agreed. And it's also not being funny. It's giving us great content and great entertainment.
I'd also like to know where that money goes and what that money does.
Oh, come on!
I know exactly what I would do.
Money does.
I'm a fairly organised, fairly well qualified professional. I'd be happy to put myself forward on a voluntary basis to produce that spreadsheet and push it out. If they're short if they're short of, if they're tight on capacity, and that's the reason why we don't see it very often, I'm more than happy to collate that data and share it with the world.
Yeah,
Fairs.
but you know where that money goes. Exactly where that money goes. It goes to a wonderful Christmas party, as we know. The DRA Christmas Party Fund is alive and well.
This year, sponsored by the Maldives.
Yes, or Monaco, in fact.
I'll tell you what was funny is when we were in Minehead in November last year for the Players' Championships. Dan will tell you, we were there. We walked into the curry house, and
yes,
the DRA unfortunately were having a curry in the same venue as us.
Yes.
A member of our group walked past them. Obviously knew who they are. I won't drop him in it, but once I tell you the words, you can probably work out who it is. Walked past them and went, "Look at those effing C's."
I know exactly who that is.
Oh, it was hilarious. Like, absolutely.
Hang on. I'll message you now and just double check who I think it is. All right, give me a second.
Absolutely no shits given whatsoever. Correct.
Yes. Correct. I thought it might be.
Yeah, honestly, walked past them as loud as day, bearing in mind that Wazza was with us as well.
Oh yeah.
Is this what this show is going to become now tonight? Is this going to be story time?
It was loud enough to the point where the waiter thought he'd mispronounced something on the menu. He was looking for it. He was looking for it. Do you want that? Medium or extra hot, sir?
Is this going to be? Is this going to what we're going to turn this show into tonight? Is this we're just going to turn it into story time?
We have got some stuff to talk about. To be fair, everyone, I have loved tonight's show so far. If you've liked it, make sure you smash that like button and give us a subscribe as well, because we are well and truly 50k is within touching distance now. So tap, and again. Thank you.
If the amount of people that we have watching along, if you all got like 2 members of your family WhatsApp chat to subscribe, we'd hit 50k, and I'll take one of you out for a palmo.
Oh no, don't do that, because that means then you'll have to. That means we'll lose subscribers if you're doing that.
Tossie, thank you very much for the jewels, mate. I'm not quite sure what they do. It's a new feature from YouTube, but thank you very much, my friend. So 2026 so far, we look at it that it's been a year that has been dominated by Luke Littler, but now there's this little month of reflection, and there are players that is reality about to set in that, fuck, I'm in trouble. Whether that's for dropping out of the top 16, losing your tour card, not qualifying for the Worlds. Is this the time where reality now sets in for some players about what they need to do and how far they're behind where they need to be and so
on? Well, it certainly is for a few of them. And I suppose there's different scales to that. But when you look around, I don't know. I noticed you. Well, we didn't do a great deal of preparation for today's show, unlike normal. But we've got Peter and Michael on the thumbnail. But then if you want to, you could pull into that conversation. Arguably, players we touched on Barney earlier, but Michael Smith could be in that conversation. Dimitri van den Berg certainly needs to be in a conversation, because whilst they're all slightly different cases, they are all going to have to, unless something changes very quickly for them, they're going to have to get used to a new world. And for some of them, that's, I'm not in the top 4 and I'm actually on the periphery of where people will start to question whether I should be, at every World Series event or in the Premier League or whatever that turns out looking like. But then for others, it's going to be, am I going to be having to qualify for a Euro Tour event? That's a bit beneath me. I'm not turning up with all these lads that are qualified just to go and play in an event that I would often not bother playing in because it's not important enough. And then there are other players there who are recent. And when I say recent, I mean within the last 4 or 5 years, major title winners, major title finalists, major title semi-finalists, who are going to run very, very close to the wire to hold on to their tour cards. The world is changing for a number of players. We looked some time ago, I think it was perhaps the 2021 Premier League lineup.
Yep.
And I think there was only 3 of them in this year's Premier League. The landscape is changing quickly. And, you know, of that 2021 Premier League, it's only 5 years ago. We've just talked about, I've just rattled a few of those names off that they're not going to qualify for Euro Tours anymore.
Well, you look at it, it's quite simple, isn't it, really? I mean, you look at, we're not trying to put him in the same bracket as Premier League, but you look at Ian White. At one point, people were going, why the hell is he not in the Premier League? Because he was winning floor tournaments all the time, you know, and he couldn't ever do it on TV. Chisnell's another. I mean, he barely scraped through for a match play this year for his, it feels like his 147th successive match play. But is he going to make the Grand Prix? I'm not sure he will. Is he going to do bits of the Worlds? Probably not. You look at the likes of Michael Smith, you know, again, there's an injury there, but rarely do we see players come back from injury and hit the same heights. It's just very rarely happens. Peter Wright, you know, falling down the rankings like a stone. It's time, you know, he needs to be thinking, you know, is this really worth my time now? And he's 2-time world champion. He deserves all of his flowers. He deserves everything that he's got. You know, you look at Gurney as well. Darryl Gurney missed out on the match play this year. You know, you said your former TV winners. He was in the Premier League in 2020.
Yeah.
Won the Players' Champions. Won the World Grand Prix 2017 Players in 2018. Joe Cullen's another was one dart away from winning the Premier League on debut. He's now 31.
He was a millimetre. It grazed the double 16 wire.
Now ranked 31 in the world. Like, you know, you look at the likes of Asp. You know, Asper's, and I get why Asper's been playing that much, because obviously family comes first and he wants to get married and fair play to him and all the rest of it. But, you know, what was it Dobie who said it, that he got qualified into 14th and he avoided the Lukes at the match play? I'm pretty sure he said that. You know, look at what Wessel did.
Wessel.
Yeah. But Wessel as well. When he, you know, eventually got up and was in 14th and he avoided the Lukes. It meant that Nathan Aspinall had to play Luke Littler first time round. You know, I'm not a math guy, but I'm going to guess your odds of getting through in a big time tournament and, you know, going deep in a big tournament are quite significantly enhanced if you're not in the same half of a draw as Luke Littler right now. Just a guess.
100%.
The person, you know, that I think I worry the most about, because we can worry about the level of, you know, Michael Smith, Dimitri Van den Berg, arguably Peter Wright as well. I think they're all going to continue to play darts and try and get that back. And I think they will all aspire to recreate former glories. I worry about the fact that on the tour card race, Michael Van Gerwen was 19th.
Yeah.
And the route back up looks at the moment to be a very difficult one. And it concerns me that we've seen Peter Wright tolerate the humility of going to Euro Tour qualifiers and after, you know, meddle around at the bottom end of things. And we've seen him take it on the chin, and we've seen it of various other players. I'm not so sure that Michael will be as inclined to do that, which means I fear that this decline, if he doesn't arrest it very quickly, could be, you know, we could almost see the retirement tour on the Premier League next year.
Retirement tour? Are you mental?
I don't disagree. I think if he doesn't get himself back up into the top 16, he ain't going to hang around and continue to fall. Like,
if he's outside of the top 20, right? We know how protected the top 16 are. Right? We know how protected the top 16 are. If the worst happens and Michael Van Gerwen finds himself ranked outside of the top 16, outside of the top 20, he's not automatically invited to things. He's having to qualify for Euro Tour events, having to hang on. I mean, and I respect his right to do so. You know, these guys they've earned the right to decide. They're self-employed. They play what they want. But sticking around for an extra day after Players' Championship events to qualify for Euro Tour. My concern is he falls outside of that. He's not willing to humble himself to get it back. So then you hit the Premier League season next year, and let's say he's ranked outside the top 20. He'll be in the Premier League. It's hard to justify a couple of years in a row, though, especially with the talent that's, if you think of the talent at the top end of the game, if we've then seen, and I know who will get their hands on a trophy, but, if we're seeing Van Veen in finals, and we're seeing Nyman in finals, and we're seeing these younger players that are coming through, if we see Bo Greaves really establish herself on TV, year after next, it's a very hard argument to make if he's outside the top 20.
And we know this rule.
Otherwise, they'd be inviting Phil every year.
How we doing, Mace? Good to have you in, buddy.
Well,
always good, mate. As well as I do, as does Phil, the better where he ranks if he's in the PDC system, he'll be in the Premier League.
Yes, but I don't think he will be. That's the thing.
No, but he will, because he still sells. He still sells merchandise.
He's okay for ET1, but then after that, if he doesn't do something between now and the start of next year, there is a grave danger, as Dan says, he will have to qualify for European tours. As Johnny says, at the moment, he doesn't even do 2 Pro Tours in a row. Right? Is he going to hang around for
day 3, is he?
Is he going to hang around for day 3? And, like you say, he will be in the Premier League next year. That there is no doubt. Or no, tell you, the only way Michael Van Gerwen is not in the Premier League next year is if Michael Van Gerwen says no to it. Right? Yeah. Which I don't think happens. If he's not in it, that's his choice. Now, if it does go tits up, right, and then all of a sudden he has to go to European Tour qualifiers, which are on a Wednesday, he's then got to get from there to wherever to do the Premier League. Is he going to do that? I just don't see it.
But also,
the problem you've got right, Jar, as well. Darts fans, as much as and again, these aren't. It's not us three, and it's not the people in our chat room because we attract, because of what we do and what we talk about. Like, only the darts purist is here. We don't get the casual fan giving up their Monday evenings to sit and listen to us. But
outrageous.
The newer darts fans, their attention span for what people have done and what they can do, it's so much shorter. Like, their attention span is so much lower that they want to see new, fresh, big scores, entertainment. And like, there is a tipping point when he doesn't win something for so long that what you've got there is someone who's won lots of things when they were good. And as send Michael Van Gerwen out there, you might as well send Barney out there, mate.
Massively disagree with that comment, pal. Massively disagree.
If once he hasn't won a title for 5 years, what's the difference? It's a nostalgia pick.
No, well, it isn't though, mate, is it? Because let's have a quick look at his resume. Right, won the Premier League back in 23, World Series finalist last year, won that. Finalist at the World Championships. Where else have we looking? A semi-final at the Euros.
We're looking Premier League 28 is where we're looking. We're looking Premier League 28.
No, but I mean,
But that's like saying Joshua's still an elite level heavyweight because he won a world title 2.5 years ago, and he's far from.
People haven't got the attention span. They've not got that something new, and again, something shiny.
Big Johnny makes a good point here, and look, we are in this casual new audience. This new generation of darts fan don't remember vintage Michael Van Gerwen.
I'm not saying he's going to get back to vintage level of Michael Van Gerwen, but he's still getting towards. Like I say, he still won the World Series last time out. Beat Littler to do it.
Man, we've all played well at exhibitions, Jack. We've all.
I haven't. I've never played well at all, mate. So that's a lie. So there you go. But also, like I say, finalists in the World Cup this year. Look, I'm not trying to defend MVG and say that that it's.
Well, this is upside. Hang on, this is. I've just realised this really is upside down day, isn't it?
Yeah.
When Phil Mars says MVG's finished and you end up arguing with him, this is upside down day.
But I remember a comment that he made that he said that after he turns 40, he's going to pack it in. He's going to put the darts in the case. That's 3 years away. For all he's done for the sport, will the PDC let him have the Barney farewell, the Taylor farewell? Because
I don't
if he
think
does go off at 40,
I don't think he'd want it. I don't think he'd want that pick just because of the farewell. Like I don't think he'd want
beneath him.
no, but Warren says that like you asked the most casual darts fans name 3 players. I guarantee MBG went most of the list. I think they're right. He still sells more merchandise apart from anybody apart from Littler right now. I'm just saying right now, currently, he still sells more.
Oh, I agree.
He'll be there this year. I just think things are moving.
Right now,
darts is moving.
But what we're saying is if he can't correct this, right, say nothing has changed this time next year, he still can average 122 or 83, right? If we are still in this position this time next year, he will be having to qualify for things. He won't be a guarantee. And do I see him going to European Tour qualifiers? No.
No. I agree with that.
Right. And then, if you're not at Euro Tours, right, that's a lot of ranking money. You then miss the European Championships, which is another TV event, which is a chunk of money. Your ranking continues to slide, and he won't do a Peter Wright and a Barney. He won't do it. He will walk away before that happens.
That's why.
That's fine. He's allowed to do that.
100%. But this time next year, if he is still around the 20 mark, there's a decision to be made.
Let's just call our jets on the fact of this, right? Currently, right now, he's on the tour card race. He's 48k away from being in the top 60. Let's call our jets here. Do I think that Michael Van Gerwen has the ability to possibly make right now a World Championship quarterfinal and defend 100,000 and defend 100,000, the 200,000 pounds he won at the last World 2 years ago at the World Championships when defeated him in the final? Yes, I do. I still think he's better than he's in the top 8 right now. So therefore, I would expect if it is him against Van Veen or him against Humphries in a quarterfinal, I would expect Michael Van Gerwen to be in a quarterfinal. That's right. Okay, but I'm not saying at all that that's what he's accepting. Like he wants to win things. He hasn't won things a big pot since 2022, right? But what did I say at the time of that final, Philip, of 2025? What did I say at that point to you? I said, and I said to you, I think as well, Dan, that is a passing of the torch final. Littler has now taken that mantle from MVG as the best player in the world. And MVG couldn't do that in 2013 against Taylor. But eventually, obviously, he got the job done and he's won 3 world titles.
The challenge, though, you were right. You are right. And you did say that. But the problem that I think Michael has, Chris is right. He's got too much pride to make up the numbers. You know, he's not going to go to qualifier events. He wants to be in the mix, and he wants to be even thought of. He wants to be winning things. The difficulty with that passing of the torch moment is that the torch got passed, and then it seems like they've been playing pass it on ever since. Like the torch keeps getting passed, and Michael is getting further and further away from that. You know, the torch get passed from like number 1 to number, and he passes that. Whereas since then, you've got, again, you could argue, you know, over the course of a 12-month period, Luke Humphries outperforms Michael Van Gerwen by a considerable distance. There are an ever-growing list of places. Price and Clayton consistently outperform MVG. The 2 young Dutch players, Van Veen, Nyman, consistently.
I cannot say that Nyman has outperformed MVG. Not right now. I'm not saying that he isn't currently in better on form, but he's not done it in the big front in front of the TV cameras yet. Right. Before we get everybody in the chat room who's
Gary Anderson.
I'm going to go.
Gary Anderson is consistently playing better, outperforming Michael. It's not just a passing of the torch from where one bloke's took away. No, this isn't. I don't think this is a Luke Littler thing. You know, all of us. You know, Luke Littler's took the world of darts by storm, and Michael Van Gerwen can't get his hand on trophies anymore. there are a batch of players now that are ahead of Michael van Gerwen. Every now and again, he might have a good week and he might get through to a final. But over the course of 12 months, there are too many players.
Rob's beat me to it. I've got it up here. Since making that world final against Littler, in 18 months of TV or ranked TV events, he has made one semi-final of ranking events in 18 months.
Yeah, I'm not debating that. I'm not debating any of that you've said, right?
That's a long way off.
But
right, it's all right saying he's 48k away. That's one run on TV. I fully agree. But as Mace, I love Mace when he says this. I don't have opinions. I look at numbers and data. The data suggests over the last 18 months, he is not going to make quarterfinals of TV events. But that's what the data says.
Let's not forget that in 2 of the 3 World Series events that he's participated in this year, he's won them. Right. Again, I'm with you. They are a non-ranked exhibition. I get it. I do. Before you go mental, I do. But, and here's a big but, they are TV. They are all televised titles. No, they're not.
Premium televised events.
Yes. So
I understand that the quality. He's not. Whilst they're an exhibition, he's not playing lads that have won the opportunity to play a leg against him on a raffle, is he? He is. I understand. I take it he is beating those players. I get that.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is that that's 2 events that Luke Littler hasn't won. And there's not many of them this year in TV events that Luke Littler hasn't won. So that's all I'm going to I'm not trying to hold out hope. I'm just merely playing the devil's advocate.
Oh, no, I agree. But this time next year, I think there are concerns whether we see him for 2028.
Well, Delboy always used to say this time next year we're going to be millionaires, and that wasn't true. So let's see if that's true.
He got there in the end.
He did, yeah.
But also, not just, I know we spent a lot of time on MVG, right?
He's the biggest name, mate.
Peter Wright is clinging on to a seeded spot at the World Championships where I think he just about hangs on to it.
No, but he's not going to get a seeded spot. He'll get into the top 40, but he's not going to get a seeded spot.
Yeah, but that's the seed. The top 40 are the seeded spots. They're green on Dark Connect. Right, they're your spots.
There are already 32. There are already 32 people that are seeded, Philip. 40, the 33 to 40 are not.
If he finishes 40, he's still on the left-hand side of the draw.
All right. Yes.
He's still going to be on the left-hand side of the draw bracket.
Main order of merit qualifier.
I think he holds on to that spot. Right. Worst case, if he doesn't, right. We aren't going to see Peter Wright on TV. At that point, Chris said about Pride and MVG, does Pride take over for Peter Wright? And does he retire? Or is he stubborn and carries on?
Is he stubborn? What a question, Phil.
No. There's a difference here between him and what he's told to do.
Well, I think the interesting question for me, the most interesting question about that would be how. Well, it will be how he. So, for me, I think we will continue to see Peter Wright. I think we'll see him at qualifiers for Euro Tours. I think we'll continue to see Peter Wright playing in professional darts events. I would be intrigued if, following this decline in ranking and income and prestige and everything else that he's had, if we've seen people do a bit of a rebirth and we've seen people do a bit of a reset, and I feel like he needs to sort of lock himself away with one set of darts for 3 months, learn to love them, and then promise he'll never pick another set up again and come back. And yeah, you shake your head, but it'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I think that's his only way back to the top, not the top of the game, but to the top level of the game where he's on telly and he's coming and entertaining the crowds and all of that. I think he's got to find a point, certainly as as you get older, there's lots of things that stop working as they should do in your body, and you can't rely on yourself as much. And I think the only way that he's going to be able to continue to compete, or to be able to compete and be competitive, is if he can find an equipment setup that works, and he has to stick with it.
Just the way Peter Wright is not skin, right? His house in Norfolk suggests otherwise. He has the most gorgeous house that you've ever seen.
All I say is this though, right? Arachnis. Seiki is one of those that would absolutely get the exhibition money, 100%. And right now, do you think you'd rather take the guaranteed fee for being a 2-time world champion, entertaining the crowd, or turning up for Treppins Aikney at a Euro Tour qualifier or a Pro Tour? I know the answer to that.
I think there's two answers to this. There's one what the machine says, and there's one what Peter would rather do.
Yeah, but the thing is that, like, yes, well, if the machine says no, you're still going to get more money, in my opinion, from exhibitions than you are from currently playing competitive darts. Peter Wright is still a big brand name. Again, people don't know this. So if you are a new member of the darts and are here just because of a certain wonder boy, but 5 years ago, Peter Wright was a seriously talented player. He won the match play of the World Championship. Back to, in the same.
There's a reason why my 6-year-old wears a Peter Wright Mohican wig, and he doesn't wear a Michael Van Gerwen bald cap when he's playing darts in the kitchen. Like what Peter has done an incredible job of. Whether or not others around him curated
brand Snakebite's huge.
Brand Snakebite, but the Snakebite brand, whether that's the shirts, the trousers, the hair, the walk on, the dance, all of those constituent parts it's one of the best jobs we've ever seen a person do in darts to ensure that wherever they play, if they play in an arena of 20,000 people, everybody who is in that room remembers them, whether they've ever been to darts or not. If you take someone who's never been to darts before to a Premier League event with Peter Wright in it, the next day they might not remember his name, but they'll remember him. He's a very the curation of that brand it's probably the best job anyone in darts has ever done of it, and others can only aspire to come close. And Littler's is easy because he's so young and so talented, and when you're winning everything, it's easy to build that brand. It builds itself. But what went into Peter's was tremendous work.
And again,
sorry, go on.
Johnny said it's hard to explain to the new darts fan how good Peter Wright was, because there was a period, 2020, 2021, he was genuinely sensational.
Yeah, that week at the match play that we were there, 2021, it was the easiest win. I mean, Littler obviously put it in perspective all this year. But if you watch that week back, there was only one time he was behind all week long. And that was the first leg that he lost in his round 1 game against Danny Noppert. The bloke averaged over 105 for the entire week, right? Like he was unplayable. He was quite literally unplayable, right? And all I'll say is that, as you mentioned about the brand Snakebite, he doesn't need to subject himself to try and get, go to Euro Tour qualifiers and do all this, and everything else, and constantly try and chase the coin. He can get the coin wherever he wants, because if he said, I'm retiring and I'm available for exhibitions, or again, if the machine said that Peter Wright was available for exhibitions and all the rest of it, there'd be a queue halfway down the road from where I am right now to Norfolk to go and get him.
Yeah,
100%. Because he brings,
Fully agree, Mace.
I think he's probably up there, 100%.
It's also when he was at his best, and it's very difficult to describe. It's difficult to quantify and put it into words, but we've seen loads of players play darts well, score really high, but he was so watchable. Everything that he did, the needle that he had, that back and forth that he had a few years ago with Michael, where they were digging
that was gold.
And between him and MVG and Gary Anderson, it was everything about it that was just. It wasn't just that his darts was played at a high level. It wasn't just that he wore jazzy pants. Everything about it was so watchable that if you were in the pub and you were watching, the darts was on the telly, non-darts fans would find themselves, they were dragged into watching Peter Wright play darts. In a Premier League match, he wouldn't have to be averaging 105, but he was just so watchable because he could at his very best, he could win everywhere there was, which is, I suppose, the sign of a very, very good dart player, is you can win in all of the different ways. He could turn up and average 107 and blow you away. Or he could play nowhere near as good as his opponent, but keep pulling these outrageous finishes out of the bag. Some of his like 3 dart checkout finishing was just sublime. The timing was immense. He could dig in the trenches and back and forth and grind out a victory. Like at his best, he could win in everywhere there is to win a darts game, and it was very.
A couple of things here. Do you remember the first World Championship win that he had? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Where he had the 3-1? Was it the 3-1-2 to save Noel against Noel Mallock?
He should have lost against Noel Mallock.
302. Sorry, 302. 162 and then a 140. Rob Studd's iconic line to save his snaky skin. That went on to win the World Championship.
He should have lost to Noel Mallock then. Didn't.
And then the second world final, after winning the match play, as May said, match play win goes from under the radar. The second world final win, Michael Smith was in control of that one, 100%. He was in control of that game, and Snaky in the I don't think after the 9th set, I don't think he had more than a 12 dart leg in that he won.
Oh, it was 7-5. He could have missed.
No, literally, he was unplayable. Like, and that's the thing. I hope that he doesn't just try to keep the flame burning when he doesn't need to. He's a 2-time world champion. There's not many of them around. There's not many of them.
It's a very exclusive club.
Very, yeah.
I'm just looking at the numbers. He beat Gary Anderson with 104 in that semi-final. Beat Callum Ridds with a 99. He was just super consistent.
I was there that day.
Do you remember that performance against MVG, the match play semi-final? Was it 100 I think it was 110 he averaged at the time, a record for a semi-final?
That match play is up there with one of the greatest tournament performances ever.
Yes. The highest compliment I can give him, and this is genuinely meant as a compliment, it was a Philip Douglas Taylor match play week. Like Luke Littler hit a Philip Douglas Taylor match play week just gone. Yeah. Yes, it was that dominant. It was a Philip Douglas Taylor match play week, 100%.
So he averaged 99.75 to beat Noppert, 10-2, 105 to beat Joe Cullen, 11-5, 100 to beat Michael Smith, 16-7, 110 to beat MVG, 17-10, and 105 to beat Dimitri, 18-9.
So the tournament's average is 104.5, and he's checked out 50% of his doubles.
Yeah.
And like I say, Johnny says, imagine Littler playing like that with completely different darts every week. That's essentially what Peter Wright was like.
Yeah.
That was.
Well, it wasn't every week, was it? It's halfway through.
Some days it was set to set what he was going to use.
Halfway through a leg, sometimes you had to double check he was chucking 3 of the same.
Dimitri Vandenberg, as it stands, he is going to lose his tour card. Do we think Dimitri goes to Q School in January, or is the best thing for Dimitri to have a year off to try and unscramble the head?
Well, the best thing is definitely having a year off, or maybe going to somewhere like Modus, somewhere like that, and playing. It won't happen. He will go to Q School. I don't know whether he would his card back.
Chance though that he goes to, and I'm again with the greatest of respect to the man. There's half a chance he goes to Q School and gets completely turned over.
Correct.
Well,
yeah,
Hart's being generous,
and I don't know whether that's the best thing for him. If your head's not screwed on properly, and you've been getting your ass kicked for 18 months, getting turned up, and all the lads that have just turned up for a day out and a jolly turn you over as well. But again, it's that we've talked. I mean, I talked earlier in the show about the Modus Super Series and how good it has been for establishing people's experience when they join the tour. We've seen people play there, get loads of good experience in front of a camera. We've seen loads of good experience, people getting onto the tour and knowing how to manage that and playing superbly. I don't know how that works the other way around, because we've seen people play there and we've seen people play in that environment, but they're again, in the nicest possible way, they are the greats of yesteryear. We've seen former PDC major winners there, but they are some way past their best years. It is not a very long time ago since Dimitri van den Bergh won that UK Open. And it feels like an incredibly fast turnaround for him to be lifting trophies above his head on a PDC stage. And then again, it's that pride, that, that humility of then being able to go, having to go and play in Portsmouth and play with the hobbyists. And I'm concerned that could be a struggle for him.
No,
God, that UK Open was all. I'll never forget that one. That was one where I was there for a session. That let you lot on site.
Yes, I was there. I was in the room for that final.
I bet that
which has perhaps tainted my view of Dimitri van den Bergh, is having to be, by the end of that final, whatever I knew, I was willing to tell you it. Whatever would make it stop, like whatever it was, the official sequence act is out the window. Like whatever you need to know, just let me
get out of that room.
Just let me go.
Australia and New Zealand is on the horizon. Players will fly out this weekend, early next week. The Aussie boys have already gone, going home to see family, but it is a very different looking World Series event. Now, Michael hasn't been to Australia in the past 5 years, I want to say. Luke missing this year. On one hand, it is great that other people are getting a chance. But how much does it take away for the fans down under that the three of them aren't there at the same time? And what needs to change? And by the way, I'm not saying they all go at the same time. They can rotate round. But what does it take to get Australia and New Zealand rocking again?
Simple, really. Be close to the other side. Be close to the other side of the world. Oh yeah, and that as well. 100%.
No,
definitely.
That is, let me be brutally honest about it, right? All three of those players can afford to say no.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've got to, unfortunately, and this is this is the thing about running an exhibition, folks. Like if you want to book the best talent, if I want to run an exhibition and I want to have both Lukes and Michael van Gerwen there, it's going to cost me a hell of a lot of money to get them there, especially if it's on the wrong side of the world for them. I'm afraid to say it, but there is a very, very, very simple answer to your question. and it's that for the right price, anybody plays in the World Series of Darts.
What was it that Ted
And you can
DiBiase
have
used to
Barry
say?
Lineker playing in the World Series of Darts. Are you gonna have anyone for the right price?
What was it Ted DiBiase used to say? Everybody's got a price.
Correct.
I don't think they have, right? I think one of the biggest factors is the time of year it is on. Now, when you have young children, it is slap bang in the middle of the school holidays, which I think is part of the issue. 2 of the 3 players that we're talking about have young children.
I'm about to say, Luke Littler's become a dad, has he? Jesus, that's the news.
2 of the 3, he can just do what he wants. He doesn't give a fuck.
Yes, yeah.
But the other 2 have young children. Now, when they're off school for 6 weeks, and you're away for 2.5, 3 weeks of that in the middle of it, I think is part of the issue.
I mean, but you look at, though, Gezi. Didn't Gezi bring his 2 kids with him last year? I'm pretty sure.
They're older, though, is the thing. Like,
Yeah.
Luke and Michael's kids are both young.
Yeah. I mean, I'll use it for my example. If I was in their position, and my daughter's, what, now, 2.5? It's a bit different, obviously, but when she's at school, in a couple of years, if the
Correct.
No time, unfortunately, no amount of money is going to get me to go down to Australia for 2 or 3 weeks.
And that's why I say the time of year is an issue as well.
I'd counter that by saying, if I was in either of their 2's shoes, my kids wouldn't be at a school that had 6 weeks holidays, and they'd probably be at a school that had 9 to 10 weeks holidays. And 2 to 3 weeks of me being in Australia would probably pay for that school for the next 5 or 6 years.
Ooh, look at me! I can afford private school.
But you can, like that, not
The
all
irony of that, I understand. By the way,
not
Don't
all.
worry about it.
Yeah. I was going to say, as a man that does my job, I have to be careful where I come out of that debate.
No. I was going to say about me, obviously.
Oh,
That was
yes.
all it was.
No,
Yeah.
but you see, we forget that not all schools do 6 weeks. Lots and lots of schools do 8, 9, 10 weeks. And I'd like to think that 2 weeks in Australia probably very handsomely covers the costs of a school that does, 8, 9, 10 weeks in the summer. So, it is, again, but I know it's the summer holidays, right? And I know that, the kids are off school for 6 weeks in the summer holidays. Schools are off for 13 weeks of the year. And if the weather's shit where you live, get on a plane and go somewhere else. Now, if I was speaking to some people that were earning minimum wage, that's an unfair and ridiculous argument to make. Like, you shouldn't say to someone, like, well, if you don't like the weather, fuck off to the other side of the world. But let's be brutally honest, like, these lads are doing all right. Like, they're doing okay. And the kids are off for 13 weeks of the year. So if you want some sun in October and you want some sun in February half term, it is at your disposal, isn't it? You can do it.
But they can't, though, because certainly, and that's the thing as well. Like, if you go October half term, the chances are they're going to be at the European Championship, aren't they? These big players. And the second thing is that if you go on at February half term or in May half term, you've got a Premier League to deal with.
But that's the balance.
And so that is the only time you can go and get a holiday away, or January. But obviously, you've got Bahrain and Saudi now.
I completely agree. But this is what, and again, almost being the devil's advocate, right? If I'm the PDC, I can get any player to play any event. Just write the check. Because all you always take those spots. Yeah, if you want your players to be in Australia in the summer and take a holiday in October, you've just got to make that tournament be much more worthwhile for them to be at than the other one that you're not bothered with. Like, it all just comes down to how much do you want it. If the PDC have both the knowledge and the ability to make any tournament, to make sure that every player that they want is at any event, and it's purely and simply as down to how important it is to them to have those particular players.
I disagree with that.
No, he's not.
He's not. He's in Florida. Luke and Luke have both said they're going to do 2 years on, 1 off for Australia and New Zealand.
Which is presumptuous, isn't it, for your future invites? I love that.
Yeah.
James Wade hasn't made the same declaration. he has offered that up as a system by which he could take part in the Premier League. Just to do year on, year off.
But again, I understand it's down to TV, broadcast decisions and so on. But it would make more sense to have Australia and New Zealand in January when it's nice down there. So players will be more inclined to take their families on holiday. Also, Wollongong isn't exactly a glamour destination.
No, it's not Sydney Harbour, is it?
It's not Sydney. It's not Melbourne. It's not Adelaide. It's not New York. It's not Riyadh.
How far is it? Because how far is it from Sydney? Because I'm sure it's in
about,
New South Wales.
About an hour and a half south.
So, I forget how big Australia is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's about an hour and a half south of Sydney. Now,
okay,
you fly into Sydney, don't you?
You fly into Sydney and then, but would it make more difference if it was in one of? Look, Melbourne is a thriving city, and so on.
But where do you pop it? Like, do you pop it at maybe one of the one of the tennis arenas? Yeah, maybe like the John Cain or something like that.
It was obviously too late for this year, but the amount of tickets they sold in Adelaide for the Australian Premier League last year, there definitely seems an appetite there. They sold like 4,500 tickets for one night, with the greatest of respects, with not the lineup you're going to get for the World Series. But also, though, is Adelaide? Look, I mean, I've only ever done a couple of places in Australia. Been very fortunate. I've done Sydney, Melbourne, Port Macquarie up in New South Wales, which is lovely, and the Northern Territory. Ayers Rock and Alice Springs. Well, when we did the Lions tour, lovely. But is Adelaide the same sort of a vibe as you get? Do you think, say, if you're going to a Brizzy, or if you're going to Melbourne, or if you're going to Sydney? Do you know? I don't know. I've never been to Adelaide, so I can't comment. But hopefully there's a few Australians in the chat room, or our subscribers who watch this back.
Scott's in there. Scott's in there. He's over there, isn't he? Or at least he was.
I grew up in the. Don't get me wrong, Wollongong. It looks nice, but it's not. It's not Sydney, is it? It's not Melbourne, and so on. That. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like, for example, Scott, right? And I'm not trying to compare the two, but there's a reason why Olympic bids for Manchester and Olympic bids for Birmingham did not go through for the United Kingdom. The reason why it had to be London is because it is a glamour destination. In the same breath, for America, there's a reason why it's Los Angeles, even though it is an absolute shithole, that has got themselves, because it is a big known, well-known destination. And fair play to Brizzy for getting the Olympics, absolutely fair play. But you look at the big places, again, Paris got it finally for France. LA gets it for them. Paris is an absolute shithole as well. Yeah, it's a dive. But and that's the thing. Like, big places get the big events because people want to go there because they are bucket list destinations. And that's not me trying to have a go at Wollongong, but let's say, for instance, if I was going to the Rugby World Cup next year in Australia, would I want to go to Wollongong, or would I want to go to Brisbane, or would I want to go to, or would I want to go to Melbourne? I can already tell you the answer. Melbourne. Correct. Or Brizzy or Sydney. Certainly not Wollongong.
Ramsey Street. That's where I'd go.
Everybody loves good neighbours.
Summer Bay.
Oh, are you a home and away fan? Are you?
I loved home and away. I liked both, but
I don't think I ever saw a single episode of Home and Away.
What?
I ever saw Home and Away. It wasn't on in our house.
What?
Kids,
what?
Yeah.
What? I'm sending this one upstairs.
Whoa.
Well, I'm reviewing this. We're going for a review.
Neighbours was often on. My mum would have Neighbours on, but I don't think Home and Away was ever in the Simpson household.
Right. Time used to stop between 5 and 6 for Home and Away and Neighbours, and then used to go back out.
One was on first and one was on second, weren't they? Which order
Home
was
and
it?
away was first, Neighbours
Neighbours
was
was on
second.
first, and then Neighbours
I
at
think
half 5.
I think because everyone was gainfully employed, I don't think everyone was home and settled in time for home. Yeah, home and away is much more. Home and away much more. It's the unemployed on the back end of the day, isn't it? Neighbours very much the working man's. The working man's show. Once you're home from a hard day, get on Neighbours. That's it.
You and that forever and ever.
Oliver Lance, I believe, started out on
Neighbours.
Well, to be fair, you look at what's it called? You look at who is it? Kylie and Jason.
Yes.
Danny Minogue was on Home and Away.
Danny Minogue, she was there. Yeah.
I can't remember her name. Becca Cartwright, who married Leighton Hewitt, was on Home and Away.
Yes.
Mrs. Mangle. Yeah. Mrs. Joe Mangle, he was, and the dog, what was the dog called? Bouncer.
I think it was Bouncer.
Bouncer, it was.
You know what? So here's the vintage, right? I feel like we are back to the 90s now because you two both know. You know, Jack. Do you know, Philip? I told you where I'm going on Friday.
No.
Oh my God! Yes, you told me.
Oh yes, right now. If you want to get back to the 90s, right? So I've got a day off work on Friday. Me, Mrs. S, and all 3 kids. Even I know it's impressive, right? So my boys will get excited about anything. If it gets the 17-year-old girl excited to go somewhere, it's a big show. But we are going back to the 90s because on Friday I'm going to see Gladiators.
Do you feel the power?
Foam fingers all round. 5 foam fingers, please. I'm having me when I walk through the door.
You'll be about £100. You'll be about £100 lighter, lad. But, but do you know why? I'd love to go and watch Gladiators being recorded.
Celebrity edition on Friday when I'm there.
But I can't do it. I cannot do it
because it's not in the NEC.
NIA, thank you. Not the NEC, but the NIA. That is the spiritual home of Gladiators.
It
needs to be.
But Sheffield's a piece of piss for me to get to.
Yeah, I get that. 100%.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
For those that were asking, anyway, the representatives for Australia and New Zealand, the PDC representatives.
Remember that?
Do you remember this is a dart show?
What a show this is.
The PDC representatives. Don't worry. We'll come back to Home and Away, and that Neighbours is legendary.
Spin-off
Banding, Johnny Clayton, James Wade, Josh Rock, Gutterin Price, Stephen Bunting, Ross Smith, and Damon Hetta are your PDC representatives. Now, for New Zealand, we've got Adam Leake, Simon Whitlock, Ben Robb, Johnny Tatar, Mark Cleaver, Caden Nine, Hopai Puhau, and Raymond Smith. And for Australia, Adam Leake, Simon Whitlock, Raymond Smith, Brodie Clinge, Tim Puzzi, Joe Camito, Darren Penhorn, and Ben Robb. I tell you what, that is a strong lineup from the Australian representatives.
I've got a different list to you.
I like that. I think that is a strong lineup.
I tell you what, we haven't seen the draw yet, but we often sit and look at these World Series events and say, do we think there's a chance? And we'll give one of the scraps from the table. One of them may get over the line. I would not be surprised if we saw 2 or 3 win. 2 or 3 nominations, but it wouldn't surprise me at all. Especially that first week in New Zealand. I think there are a number of players. It's a long journey, and there are some of them that are well out of form. Some can be got at. And there is some serious talent amongst the New Zealand and Australia representatives. And if 2 or 3 of them got a win, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Warren, if he has, the PDC haven't updated their website because that's where I'm reading it off of.
He's been replaced by Malcolm in, hasn't he?
Yeah.
What's that?
Who? Excuse me?
Yeah. The magnet.
I'm just reading the article. So if he has, they haven't updated it. I'll tell you what would work. Could you imagine I can't believe I'm going to say this. We're going to have a halftime entertainment show at the darts. Dr. Carl Kennedy and his band.
Oh, yes.
Hey?
Have you
come
never
on.
seen Dr. Carl and his band?
Dr. Carl?
No.
Oh,
You've
come
not
on.
lived.
Oh, what, from Neighbours?
Yes.
No, that was before my time, I think that was. When I watched a bit of Neighbours. I was never really watched Neighbours. I was more of a home and away fan.
What
in the
a strange
afternoons.
thing to admit.
Strange way to, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, to be fair, I'm excited by that lineup. I'd love to have seen Corey got a wild card just for shits and giggles. Could you imagine the scenes?
Come on in chains. I
Just-
don't like
just
no
so you
whips
know.
and chains.
Philip, that Alan Fletcher's band, Dr. Carl Kennedy's band, is doing a 32-date UK tour this year.
Is he?
There's one for the night off, Philip. Get yourself. He's perked up, hasn't he?
He's thinking, shit, how am I gonna get through this last 20 minutes of the show? Now I know. There you go.
But no, looking forward to Australia and New Zealand. They've not been happy hunting grounds for the local players, so fingers crossed that they can put on a show and it work. It will be good. Fingers crossed.
There's definitely potential there, isn't there? And
100%.
I think one of the frustrations from these two particular World Series events is in recent years they have not fulfilled their promise. Like they have had superbly talented players with opportunity, and they haven't took advantage of it. And this, every year, this could be the year where 3 or 4 of them turn up. We know there's 3 very big hitters that aren't there, and who knows? It will be good to see, because anything at all that keeps pushing forward darts in the region is good. So if you can get a good news story of a hometown player or a home nation player doing well, then that would be great.
Well, let's be fair. For many years, Australia and New Zealand was the flagship for the affiliate tours.
Yeah,
it was very much the flagship ones that we want to aspire to be that. Now, they've slipped down the pecking order since COVID, look, for obvious reasons and so on, and that mantle has been taken. So now there's a chance for them to re-establish that foothold and go, hang on a minute, we can still do this. We can still rock up and we can still play. And look, I'm buzzing the fact that Raymond Smith is in. Absolutely buzzing with that.
Yes. Yeah, that's real good news. That good chap,
Good
former
player,
guest,
mate.
friend of the show.
Good player.
He was great. He was an absolutely superb guest on the show as well. Like one of the most honest men in darts. Honest, realistic, like very giving. What a good bloke. And to see him whenever he does well, it's a great thing to see in darts.
Yeah, 100%. But that then sets up the back end of the year. Obviously, we've got a Euro Tour at the end of the month. And do we expect to see the World Series players on that? Maybe, maybe not. Time will tell whether that they do. But also, then there's a chance for other people to come in as top-ups and so on. But then from September is when it gets interesting. We're already talking about the road to Ali Pali. I can't wait to see how they get out the Great Hall and so on. This is where the dart season really gets underway now.
Yeah, we're getting into the business end, aren't we?
Don't talk about Ali Pali yet. No, we can't talk about Ali Pali yet.
All right, let's talk about next year's Premier League lineup.
No, because I was actually going to say then, because I just know what.
We could do mine in November. That's not far off. That seems
because then Phil will be asking something, and it's nowhere near ready yet. No, he'll be asking something. He'll be asking to no.
Who's your right?
Oh, you're already behind this. I've already stepped in.
You
He's been sharing stuff all week.
Moron.
He's been sharing. No, we tipped that day, didn't we? Where we're closer to Christmas with this,
Yeah, the longest day's gone. We're now closer to Christmas than we are. I'm in. I'm fully invested.
It's still fucking 32 degrees outside, man.
Christmas jumpers.
I'm in. I'm fully invested.
Oh, the Players' Championship finals, right? I'm telling you now, folks. You're going to see. You got some pictures from. You got some. If new apparel always deserves a good venue picture, but I think after we unveiled the online darts T-shirts in the Winter Gardens this year, Minehead in November could be the perfect place to unveil the online darts Christmas jumpers.
Oh.
They couldn't. We've also, and let's be honest, Philip, as well. We've got no shortage of, let's say, far more capable models than you or I, who are looking for some online darts merch, and will be in Minehead as well. So I think that would be the perfect time to roll out the online darts Christmas jumpers.
The Christmas design hoodie as well.
Yeah.
God.
Oh yeah.
Mace, are you bringing August. Charlotte to Minehead?
Could end up modelling Christmas jumpers.
Yeah.
She could end up modelling Christmas jumpers. There's a quick way to earn your keep. We'll pay for the curry, but she had to work for it.
It's not, lads. We are at the front end of August.
It's nothing like wishing your life away, is there?
NFL season hasn't even started yet. So until the NFL season starts, we are not entertaining discussion on the world or the Premier League. No.
No, pal. We'll bring one anyway, so you can take it home for the Christmas show. But obviously, we'll redesign the logo with some Christmas touches to it.
I'll just say, I heard as well that I think we've got Mr. Henry Coates joining us for the Live Lounge Live.
Yep. So confirmed guests, 100%, Mace. We're going for curry. 100%.
I think the table's already booked. I think we're already booked in. Everybody wants the same curry house, so you've got to literally get in months in advance with a table now. We're sorry,
mate. You weren't in earlier, Mace. We were talking about this time or November last year when we walked into the curry house and the DRA were there, and what was thrown at them. You effing.
A member of our party. A member of our party.
Yeah. 100% we're going for curry. But so confirmed guests already for the Live Lounge Live, Monday the 7th of December at the wonderful Prince of Wales in Ilkeston. Already confirmed. Henry Coates, Alan Moran-a-Little, and TalkSport's Mark Wilson are all confirmed. Those three are in the ledger.
Lovely. Not bad guest list to round off the Live Lounge for 2026.
We're already early as well. That we've still got time to.
This is far too.
We've got a guest on the show next week as well, haven't we? We have.
Mr. Hugh Ware will be joining us.
Hugh, what, when, where?
Yeah.
Oh yes, he's coming and joining us for a chat next week.
I won't be here, but you can enjoy the chat with him.
Some would argue we've upgraded the bottom box.
Oh no, 100% you will have done. 100% you would have done. I'm sure the comment section will be loving it, and I'm sure the live chat will be loving it too.
We're upgrading our bottom box for a week.
Yeah, I've got two. Yeah, I've got next week at the 24th. I won't be here.
Right. But by the way, we need to talk about this because, Jar, tell them one of the Mondays why you can't do it. Because we hammered Boise for this, so you're not getting away with it.
For now, Philip. For now. I reserve the right to plead the Fifth Amendment. And you know the reason why I can't say that.
Yeah.
So I will let you... sooner rather than later, we can have you're more than welcome to have a pop. But right now, I cannot say it. It's nothing bad. I just reserve the right to plead the Fifth Amendment right now. Okay?
God, I can't say that out loud.
It wasn't Gob, it was me.
What,
Was it
what is he?
No, it was me.
I thought it was you. I thought it was God.
No, that was me in the group
Sorry, my
chat.
apologies.
What's really bad, folks, right? Because we do have to maintain some professionalism to some degree, and that means that all of my best work is often done in a side chat.
Jamie Caven, Jabba also joining us as well. Can't wait to have Jabba in as well. Like, we love going to the live lounge live at the wonderful Prince of Wales, our spiritual home. It's bloody good there, isn't it?
Top pub. It's my favourite. It's my favourite pub south of Middlesbrough.
Well,
Fairs.
the Vegan Catholic Club have already want us back for next year.
Billingham Catholic. Oh, by the way, chat room, I know we've got a way to go, but when we go back to the Billingham Catholic Club, right, we didn't know this until afterwards. Local darts is on a Monday night normally. So they've asked us, could we do it on a Sunday or a Tuesday? Now, changing it for 1 week's no big deal to us.
Just your match play preview.
But what obviously we need to make sure before the calendar comes out to make sure there's not a Euro Tour on the Sunday. But if that's clear, would people prefer us going live for a Live Lounge Live on the Sunday or the Tuesday, so we can have more people in the venue because they're not playing local darts?
Yeah, that might be a good shout. Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, Littler is
asking for Littler on the. We've had him on 4 times on the show.
I've spoken to his dad. We are going to try and make it happen in the back end of the year. Look, they're away on a well-deserved holiday for 3 weeks in Florida. We are going to try and make it happen in the back end of the year. The problem is because he's that fucking good, everyone wants him. And unfortunately, bigger organisations than little old us want him.
Who had him first, though? Who had him first?
We did. But do you remember when we were trying to get J2O to get him a sponsorship deal?
Yes.
They should have taken it.
They should have. Honestly, that was a bad move, wasn't it? We said in fact we were in the Prince of Wales pub, weren't we? With Luke and his dad and Chris, and with a J2O on the screen, and we said, like, it's the easiest brand deal in history, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now he's too old to drink J2Os, so it's like they missed the opportunity.
Yeah.
Let's get some questions in then. Any questions? Fire them in for us. We've got 5 minutes or so to answer some questions. Keep them clean-ish.
This has been rogue, hasn't it?
I've loved tonight's show. We need to do more of these.
What happens when Barzi gets some sleep? Because I'm worried now for the rest of the year. If Barzi actually gets some sleep and has a free Monday, we as a brand are absolutely Donald Duck, aren't we?
Yeah, fun though. It's going to be a fun ride while it lasts. The Netflix documentary will be superb at the end.
258 episodes, though. Can you imagine? I would never have thought that we'd have got to this stage.
Who will play me?
Bruce Wayne, mate? Bruce Willis, even.
Bruce Willis. Heard any news from the UKDH? I did have someone in there filling me in that everything was going on, and his exact words were, "I've wasted 5 hours of my life on this absolute clusterfuck." That was his exact words to me.
Dear me.
We're really going to be making friends this week. Jesus, you've had a pop of pretty much everybody. That was
the words of someone that was in the meeting. That was.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there anyone we haven't had a dig at yet? We might as well squeeze a couple more in.
Yeah, but by all accounts, nothing's really going to change.
Then, yeah. It's a good way to spend 4.5 hours, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I just think
this is what happens, right? When you end up with meetings being ran and chaired by people who haven't done like ran and chaired meetings for a living. People just sit and talk for hours. Bullshit.
So
pushing bullshit around the room like dung beetles.
One of my favorite lines in a meeting is, this could have been an email. That's what needs to happen. 100%.
The person chairing the meeting apparently got the ump and offered someone outside.
Good.
Nice.
Hang on. I take back my previous. Clearly the meeting was being chaired well. I mean, some will say it's not the best measure. You couldn't argue it's not effective.
It was funny. The person, obviously, I know I'm not going to name him because it's not fair, but was from my neck of the woods, and obviously had to drive up there early, and completely wasted his time, which is funny. Look, I think the
Grand Prix. That was a question. Bull Greaves make the Grand Prix.
100% she can. Look,
but
the three European tours are huge for her. Some wins on those 3 European tours, and she's going to be right in the mix. I've said it for a while though. The decline in county is again. I remember when back in the day that you had to post some really good numbers to get picked for county. I remember like top players had running averages of 25, 26 that couldn't get near a county side. And I look at some of the averages now, it's like, wow.
But that's because most people now.
Oh, yeah, I agree. It's less of a priority, 100%. I get that.
Yeah. And like most people, if you are going to play darts properly, you're realistically now going through a JDC academy and then making your way up through WDF systems and everything else. County is just for, what you were talking about earlier when you said that county is basically now what the Challenge Tour can be at times. That's what it seems like it can be.
There's still a place for county, just not in its.
I'm not saying otherwise.
I just think that there's not enough play. Right, there's the amount of darts being played now is like fucking. There's darts everywhere. Right, trying to get an A team, a B team play over 2 days is just impossible. So
correct.
You have one team of men and women. Right, fuck this A and B shit off. Right, you have one team and you play on over 1 day. Then that cuts down extra days in hotels, holiday people have to take, and it might have a better effect and uptake and people wanting to play because it's less time to commit.
Yeah, don't disagree with that.
Yorkshire have lost 32 soup. Wow. In one, you've lost 32 teams.
Okay.
That's also because of the Yorkshire, and we all know that Yorkshire are tight bastards, so they probably just don't want to pay the dues. So, one of those.
Yeah, to be fair, Rob, I quite like me and Gob had a chat, or we were on the phone the other day about it, and the pyramid that Gob talked about, and I liked it, is if you have the Premier Division and Division 1 as open, that travel is.
Sorry, my fault.
That travel is not restricted. Then you have North and South Divisions 1 and 2. So there's still promotion and relegation within those, and there's still ones that want. I think that could work better.
I was trying to find a wonderful video that we have on the cricket show, but I couldn't get it into the back end system.
I'll tell you what you were doing in the back end, mate. A bit of this, weren't you?
That's what I was doing, 100%.
That's what you were doing in the back end.
Yeah, 100%.
You found out.
I did find out. I tried to find a wonderful video of Freddie Flintoff, which is just one of my favourite videos of all time. I sometimes go over to Yorkshire just to make myself feel better about my life. Then you got the M62 when you go home and you think, you know what? An unlucky span in the world.
The best Freddie Flintoff. And Rod Harrington's wet himself.
No. The best Freddie Flintoff will always be mind the windows, Tino.
He's coming around my house for a chat, isn't
Yeah, that's
Well,
class, by the way.
That's great. Can't wait.
I might send you up a cricket bat.
Oh, mate, you imagine you think Billy's all over that?
God.
He's trying to arrange it for a Friday so he can come and have a knock in the village cricket club. We're short of lads, Fred. Any chance you can?
Do you mind telling? Do you mind just maybe dialing in on the cricket pod? On the cricket pod sort of record that we can maybe get through on the show.
Stick him in this room.
I need to go around my mum's house. Hopefully, she's not throwing it out. But I have got. Remember the old One Day shirt, blue red arms with Vodafone on.
Yeah, the Admiral one.
I've got that with 11 Flintoff on the back at mum's house. If I can find it, that's getting sent up to.
It's going to be on the back here. Put it on there.
Yeah, I'll send it up.
You can come in and just see it. Go on, did you always have that? Yeah, I've had it there for years, Fred. It's great. Just there next to the tub of Sharpies. Can you see that?
Private signing session with Andrew Flintoff.
Take what you can get in this life.
100%. I'll tell you what, I have absolutely freaking loved tonight's show.
Yeah.
I really have. And if you haven't yet, make sure you drop us a like and subscribe as always.
I promise we will talk about darts next time. We will talk about darts.
No, I won't talk about
this
week.
week.
When will we ever talk about darts? When?
So, we will have a bumper Matt Edgar video coming out this week. I am also going to trial some new content coming this week as well.
Are you going to edit those bits that I did the day after the UK Open?
I am. That's on my that's on my list to do.
Wow.
Oh, I'll tell you what else you need to do. We've got some more strange, interesting content, but I need to edit the videos from the Winter Gardens, but they're on your memory stick. So I need you to put those videos into a Google Drive for me. Just having an online meeting now.
Yes, on a management meeting.
Bars coaching channel, absolutely not. However, remember, don't throw for 20s because you can bust. On 65, don't go for 25. What an absolute whopper. I'm on one tonight. Everyone's getting it.
Jesus Christ.
But remember, make sure you drop us a like and subscribe, everyone. We massively appreciate all the support as always. Hugh Ware joining us live next week. We cannot wait for that. But until then, this will be available as a podcast in the morning. I will edit it tonight. But until then, I've been Phil Bars, Dan Simpson, Jonathan, and we have been the Online Darts Live Lounge.
Going in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Jolliffe. Thanks for being in the Barney Army.